All right, let's talk taxes. It's that time of year, and today we're going to completely demystify one of Canada's biggest annual to-dos, filing your income tax and benefit return.
Look, if you're already feeling a little stressed just thinking about it, you are not alone. It can seem super complicated, but trust me, we're going to break it all down. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what to do.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The very first decision you got to make is how you're going to file. And this is a big one. If you file online, you're looking at about 2 weeks to get it processed. But if you mail it in, we're talking up to 8 weeks. That is a massive difference, especially if you're expecting a refund. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the absolute basics, then jump into the easiest way to file, which is online. After that, I'll show you a cool way to power up your e-filing. We'll also cover how to get professional help, look at some of the other ways to file, and then wrap it all up so you can pick the best path for you. Okay, first things first. What do we even mean when we say filing your taxes? Let's just quickly get on the same page. So at the heart of it all is this thing called the income tax and benefit return. And the name is key here. It's not just about figuring out if you owe the government money. It's also your ticket to getting all sorts of benefits and credits. It works both ways.
And that's exactly why it's so important to file every year, even if you didn't earn much income. This is how you get things like the GST/HST credit or the Canada Child Benefit. Seriously, for a lot of people, filing isn't about paying, it's about getting money back from the government that you're entitled to.
All right, let's get into the most popular method out there, and for good reason. We're talking about e-filing, and it's all about making this process way faster and simpler.
The bottom line is this. The fastest, easiest way to do your taxes is online, using special tax software that's been certified by the Canada Revenue Agency, or the CRA. This software uses a secure system called NetFile to shoot your returns straight to them. No stamps, no waiting. And you even have different flavors of software to choose from. There's interview-based, which is perfect if you want some hand-holding. It literally asks you simple questions, one by one, to make sure you don't miss anything. Or if you're a bit more old school, there's forms-based software, which is like filling out the paper forms, but on your computer. And you know the best part? They both do all the math for you. No calculator needed.
So where do you find this stuff? Just head to the CRA's website. They have a whole list of certified software you can use online, download to your computer, or even use on your phone. And here's the kicker. So many of them are completely free. Some even have a pay-what-you-want model, so you can't go wrong.
Okay, e-filing's already pretty sweet, but what if I told you there's a way to unlock a secret level? A way to make it even easier, especially if you filed before. Let's talk about how to power up your e-file.
The key to this is something called My Account on the CRA website. Think of it like your own personal, super secure dashboard for everything related to your taxes. Once you're signed up, it unlocks a seriously cool feature. And that feature is called Auto-Fill My Return. It's just as amazing as it sounds. Once you're using your certified tax software, you can connect it to your CRA My Account, and with one click, it will automatically pull in a ton of your tax information and fill out parts of your return for you.
And we're not just talking about your name and address. This thing can pull in numbers from your T4 slips from your job, your RRSP contributions, and even those carry-forward amounts you might have forgotten about, like old tuition credits. It's a massive time saver, and it cuts down on typos.
But, and this is a really important but, you have to remember that even though autofill is amazing, you are still responsible for your tax return. It's a tool, a fantastic shortcut, but you're the one in the driver's seat. You have to double-check everything and make sure nothing is missing. The buck stops with you.
Now, maybe doing it yourself just isn't your style, and that is totally okay. Whether your taxes are a bit complicated or you just want the peace of mind of having an expert look it over, there are some great options for getting help.
Let's start with a fantastic resource that not enough people know about. All across Canada, there are free tax clinics run by community volunteers. They're set up specifically to help people with a modest income and a straightforward tax situation get their taxes done right for zero cost.
So, what do they mean by modest income? Well, here are the general guidelines. For a single person, we're talking a total family income of around $35,000. And as you can see, that number goes up depending on how many people are in your family. It gives you a pretty good idea if you might be eligible.
And the other part is having a simple tax situation. What's that? Well, it generally just means your income comes from common sources like a job, a pension, social assistance, or maybe a tiny bit of interest. Basically, if you aren't self-employed or dealing with big investments, there's a good chance your situation is considered simple.
And of course, you can always pay a professional. A tax preparer or an accountant will do the whole thing for you for a fee. Now, you might also hear about discounters. They're a little different. They give you a chunk of your refund right away, in cash. The catch? They take a pretty big fee for that service. So you're trading a piece of your refund for getting your money faster.
So we've talked a lot about e-filing, but it's not the only way to get the job done. Let's quickly touch on a couple of other options.
You've got the classic old-school paper filing method. You fill out all the paper forms, do the math yourself, and pop it in the mail. Just don't forget that long 8-week processing time. Then there's something called Simple File. This one's pretty cool. It's invitation only. If your financial situation is pretty stable, the CRA might actually invite you to file just by answering a few simple questions over the phone or online.
Ooh, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. We've talked about doing it yourself with powerful software, getting free help from community clinics, hiring a pro, and even mailing it in the traditional way. At the end of the day, the right way to file really just comes down to you, what you're comfortable with, how complex your finances are, and what your budget looks like. But now you know all the options. You're in the driver's seat. So the only question left is, which path are you going to take this year?